Stop that. Stop that. Stop that.
I hear him chat to the noise. Move too quick, can't stop for the talking. I hear him chat with the walking. Just too sharp with the prize. White girls better tell me I'm awesome, yeah. Hot like fire on the pan. If you wanna touch my please use caution. Cold like 0 degrees. I'm out the cage, gotta let out the beast. Revolutionary, gotta let out the streets. Locked in a cage, I'ma let out the sheets. We came for one man, forget my peace. You take the west, I'll take on the east. I'ma put him in the cage, never let out the. I hear him chat to the noise. Move too quick, can't stop for the talking. I hear him chat with the boys. Man so tough, but man's keep walking, yeah. Just too sharp with the prize. White girls, better tell me I'm awesome, yeah. Hot like fire on the pan. If you wanna touch me, please use caution.
Stop that. Stop that. Stop that.
All right, so the 90s called. They want their show back. What's up with the vests, man?
Is that a 90s thing?
Vests are a 90s ass thing, man.
Then
Maybe-
Jeremy's
I'm a
bringing them back.
90s ass dude.
Maybe turn of the century. I'll give you like up until like 2004, 2005.
Okay. I'm
Hawk,
okay with that.
Did you know that Jeremy wore a vest yesterday and got a bunch of shit for it?
I didn't. I wear this vest, no bullshit, probably 4 times a week for the last year.
For real?
It's like one of them things where it's a very easy outfit.
The difference is that Jeremy wore a sweater vest,
Yeah, he wore a
and,
sweater
and
vest.
Hawks is more of like a tactical
Tactical vest,
Yeah.
for
You
sure.
put shit in there.
He's got
He
definitely.
looked like Matthew Perry from Friends. You look like 50 Cent in that
Yeah.
one
I'll
video
take
of
that.
him wearing that.
I'll take that. I was a big G unit. I was a senior in high school, class of 04, so 50 Cent in the bulletproof vest.
Wow.
That's a big deal to me.
Did you guys ever have this phenomenon of the people wearing the workman's vest? You know, the work that literally is like just there to hold tools. They wore that recreationally.
Oh,
Didn't have
no.
no tools in it.
I thought you meant
Just-
the people that wore that to like get into stuff. At
No,
events
they,
and whatnot.
they were just chilling. Like, hey, what's up, man? I'm like, why are you going to a work site right now? Like, why do you have
Nah,
this
man,
on?
this is kind of a tactical. This is a
It's-
tactical
it is.
a
vest.
lot of
It is.
pockets.
So
like, this
you know,
is like definitely there's a grenade in
it's
one
like
of
a
them.
fisherman's
Like
vest.
multiple types of tobacco in each
Yeah,
pocket.
oh,
you know?
Yeah.
Wow.
Or like you sell like,
That
stolen
kind of thing.
jewelry at a concert. You know what I'm saying?
Open up the vest. Like,
Open that
what
thing
do you like?
up. I got it all, and it's for cheap.
Come to America.
Midwest is young and vestless.
Oh, there it
I
is.
like that, man. So I didn't know Jeremy went vest. I like the sweater vest as well.
You're doing this on purpose.
I'm not. That's really how I say that term every time.
And when you're
You
lying,
guys think I'm messing with
when
you.
you're lying.
No.
that's the
I
high
almost wore a sweater vest today, but I haven't been working out like I usually do. So that's like a gun thing. I like.
That's
I
funny.
get
I
swole.
almost-
I go sweater vest, no undershirt, and I show the guns.
Jeremy should have got no undershirt. That's what
Wait,
the
hold
thing
on.
was.
Wait, I
would've
was gonna do
gone
that today.
No undershirt.
I was gonna do that
Holy
today. I was gonna
shit.
wear this with no undershirt.
Yeah, that's
and
the
then
way.
we got the email that said Hawk was coming. I was like, never mind. I'm not gonna sit here with a bet with no shirt on and have Hawk there being like,
Nah, man. Give
Judging me.
me like six weeks.
Yeah, training
I'm
camp to
taking this
gear
day.
up for a vest?
I'm going into camp to bring the
Doing ladder
Le Batard
drills?
show to the damn gun show.
The sweater vest, no undershirt look.
Yeah.
1998. I was in college. Every single football player had that look, man. They were walking around. That was, by the way, we're dressed up. We get dressed up. They put on a sweater vest, no shirt. I'm like, this isn't dressed up, man.
it's
You know?
sweaty, is what it is, and the armpits exposed.
I wish I could go back to college with the shape I was in and wear more sleeveless shirts or maybe no shirt at all.
Just
because
walking
it's
around.
like you don't appreciate it in the midst of it because I'm like, hey, this is just me.
If I went back to
woke up
Miss those abs,
2016,
man.
I just wouldn't wear any clothes.
That's
ever.
that's the like.
What a time.
When was the photo shoot? Was that
2016? Yeah.
Feel like that's a look that Jodeci would pull off.
Oh, absolutely,
100%.
Jodeci.
It's a little Jodeci.
Absolutely.
Okay, that's a good call.
They'd have that vest, no shirt on, and then like
Leather.
leather
Leather vest is
military
definitely it.
boots.
Yeah,
Like,
man.
they come up like-
Untied.
untied.
I like that.
Yep.
I like it
This
all,
vest
man.
actually has a
Timberlands.
little history.
I
And
do.
That's
actually,
him. The military boots.
it's fitting for today because today's the last episode of Around the Horn, and I actually wore this vest on a Halloween episode where I was Tony Reale, and it was both of us dressed exactly the same next to each other, and I just basically, mimicked everything he said, parroted everything he said, and it was pretty funny.
No one who's worn more vests on TV in the last 20 years than Tony Reale.
Yeah, and then he just stopped and started wearing
Doug
all
Funny.
black.
Well, that's who I looked like yesterday.
Okay.
I'm sure they can pull up an image.
He was
Yeah, let's
Doug
see it.
Unfunny yesterday.
Oh,
Duck unfunny.
Also,
Mean.
I'll throw another name for you.
Skeeter.
There you go.
Patty mayonnaise.
I'll throw another name for you. The Rock on Ballers. He had a vest every single scene. Didn't matter what they were doing.
No
The
jacket.
guns.
No jacket.
What a time.
Vest, shirt, but the shirt was unbuttoned and then all tucked into his jeans.
Yeah.
And I always thought that was a curious look, man.
He had to. The Rock gets paid for his guns, man. So yes, if we have a show on HBO, you bring the guns, okay? And I'm not talking about real guns.
Yeah.
There.
The John
Skeeter
Rat's
is
like-
a crazy name. Let's just go back to that real quick. Now that we're 2025, Skeeter as your best friend is a wild name. And
This is
then,
my boy Skeeter. Yeah. What?
Skeeter's like,
Don't say
Wow.
it 3
I
times.
gotta go to the bathroom. I'll be right back.
and Skeeter
He's
was
always
black
in the
too.
bathroom.
Skeeter was black because there was black people on Doug,
Well, yeah.
but he was blue and he was like really into hip hop and he wore
Yeah,
baggy
they
pants
wanted
and he
to
was a
let us
rapper
know.
and a beatboxer. And he had kind of had like little skinny dreads. So
They-
the
they
name
knew what they
Skeeter
were-
is
they
wild.
knew what they were
They
doing.
knew. It feels like it was intentional.
This
amazing.
on your screen right now.
Well, it's not there yet.
It's not there. In a second, it'll be on there.
Oh, okay, I can
I'll
see
give
it.
it time.
The first time this vest
there
was
it
on
is.
television.
There it is.
Yeah.
I do have a tuxedo with no arms as well.
Izzy is like the ultimate chameleon, man. Like, because you've looked like every single type of person, right?
Well, somebody once told me on Twitter when I first got on that I look like the combination of all the races.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I was like, hey,
Like when they do the AI generated, this is what the world will, everyone will look like in the year 3000.
It's just
Amalgamation.
It's
Although-
the woman version of Izzy.
I couldn't pull out
Racial
Tony's jawline. That's impossible. But to go from him to or previously go from Conor McGregor
Yeah.
to this, I got a wide range.
The McGregor one was great.
Conor
too.
McGregor, Justin Bieber, Drake, Tony
Obama.
Reale, Barack Obama.
Racially ambiguous.
That's
man. It's
that's
just
a wide berth.
racially ambiguous.
Let's not
goat.
talk about the Cardi B one.
Skeeter's real name is Mosquito.
Mosquito.
Yes.
That's
Even worse, yeah.
and
Mosquito
also-
Valentine.
That's definitely a brother.
What were they doing?
Mosquito Valentine. That's a brother.
Patty Mayonnaise, Mosquito Valentine, and Doug Funny.
Come on, man.
All right.
Mosquito Valentine.
We call him Skeeter. Oh my God! Hey, a game happened last night.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah,
I
Hurricane
wish-
Panthers.
I wish Mike was here. Hockey doesn't have blowouts because they care so much. They care too much. That's the difference between hockey and other sports.
That's a good mic.
You know what, man? For shits and giggles, I looked up the ratings. Guess who's outrating Hoobst? We have higher ratings. Our athletes are more recognizable. They're higher paid. Our TV deal is bigger. Like, why does he think like hockey is this superior
Well,
thing?
in
Where
the
does he get that
playoffs, it is. I mean, yes, the Panthers are just that dominant, so they've had a bunch of blowouts in this playoffs, but I think that just speaks to their dominance. The playoff hockey is generally really close.
I will say this to a means point for us Panther fans, which I love saying. Like, this isn't just falling in love with some team. Like, everything, I've learned more hockey than I ever have from being a fan of this team, and they're just great at everything. Like, they're everything you would ever want from a team. So it's, if you decided your first experience with basketball was the 86 Celtics, you'd be a Celtics fan for life, and you'd and so for us, for the people that you're around, you're getting the worst of it because it's not this bad in Raleigh.
No, but Izzy, this is my point. My point is, you fall in love with the 86 Celtics. Who were you talking shit to in 86?
The 86 Lakers.
Yeah, you were talking to the Lakers and
the
Sixers
86
sucking you
Penguins.
guys. No, exactly. You wouldn't do that. You wouldn't start like, hey, other sports. You would not do that. You would not do that.
But that's because you're talking about, if you're specifically talking about Mike,
Of course, I'm specifically talking
then
about
you're
Mike.
specifically talking about someone who's decided that
Doug
his
Funny.
NBA. Oh, damn, I really did look like him.
You looked exactly like
you
him.
wearing
Exactly
shorts?
like him.
What
No,
a-
I wasn't
wow.
wearing shorts. Man, it's
Bag,
uncanny.
the bag.
That is
But if
kinda
you're
crazy.
If
if
That's
you're
nuts.
if you're specifically talking about Mike, I'm going to power through anyway.
Yes.
You're talking about someone whose team that he roots for, he doesn't have any faith in the NBA, right? And now all of a sudden, the last 3 years, even when they made a finals run, he was abandoning their style of play, what they
Right.
wanted to do. He had to watch the Celtics all the time, and so in turn, he didn't like watching that style of basketball. And at the same time, his hockey team started playing a lot better. So what are you going to do? Of course, you're going to argue that the sport where your team is better is the better sport.
I mean, but like, I just don't understand why the reaction isn't. Yeah, the Heat are kind of sorry now, so I've really gotten into hockey.
It's not a Highlander situation. There
As
doesn't have to
opposed
just
to
be
like
one.
this, like going on this like almost like a PR smear campaign.
It wasn't just
of
Mike, though.
basketball.
Everyone was criticizing the regular season product that was getting put out there.
Dude.
And I think you have every right. These playoffs in the NBA have been great. So I get why you're kind of doing this right now. I'd rather just kind of talk about the games than argue at Mike. He's not even here today.
No. I gotta argue because he's not here today. Because if
Yeah.
he was here, then we'd have like an hour of this as opposed to like the 10
Right.
minutes. that
Now
we're
you
gonna
can just
do.
pile on him where he can't defend himself,
Exactly.
and you can be right no
That's
matter
the
what.
move.
It
man.
feels like he would say that NASCAR is better than the NBA.
Oh,
right now. That's
yeah,
the take that he would have.
And you know what?
Yeah.
Given that NASCAR pays us money, I tend to agree.
Yeah,
But
I like.
man,
Where's my camera?
I like it.
I like it. Yeah.
riding in today, listening to Sad Carolina Hurricanes podcast
yeah.
is just, and that is, I learned that from Mike of just, that's what you do. After a big playoff win, you don't go to your team's
go to
podcast,
the
you
other.
go to the other teams.
yeah.
I
And
didn't
they
know that.
are crumbling.
What'd they have to
They
say?
are just like, oh, we have assholes, but we need mother effers. The Panthers, they have mother effers, but we have assholes. Slavin and Aho, they're just assholes. We need to be mother effers like
we need
Bennett
to
and
figure
Kachuk.
out that distinction.
I like this. I like this game.
What's
Like,
the difference between a mother effer and an asshole?
Oh, you know when you see it.
Yeah,
you
exactly.
know
It's
when
one
you
of
see
those
it.
things.
Exactly,
You know
yeah.
it when you see it. You know he's an MFer versus he's just
Definitely
an
know an
a-hole,
asshole
right?
when you see it.
Which NBA team has the most mother effers left?
The Wolves.
I want to say it's the Wolves, but
Ant is
I feel
king
like it's
mother
the
effer.
yes,
Yeah, he's so high on the mother effer meter.
He like pulls everybody up.
Yeah, there's like.
McDaniels,
McDaniels with the little shot.
DiVincenzo.
Who's the king asshole? That's like, you're good.
Hallie.
He got
Halliburton.
knocked out in the first
Wow.
round.
I think
Halliburton-
they have a lot
Wait,
of
wait, hold on.
effers too.
Hold on.
Dylan Brooks is the main asshole.
No,
Yeah, you
Halliburton's-
think he's a mother?
No, he's an asshole,
Right.
but the main one is Halliburton.
I think Halliburton's a mother effer.
No. I think he's an asshole.
Like what's the distinction there?
You know when you see
You know
it,
what you see it. Yeah.
right?
But
Like
don't-
Nemhart, that's an MFer. Neesmith, MFer.
I think the distinction is an asshole does the mean things but doesn't get like rewarded for it. The mother effer is the guy who does all the dirty work and the results happen.
I think
you know what I mean?
I think an asshole does it when they're kind of like front running almost a little bit, where an MFer is like it's hard to kill.
I don't think you look at an MFer. You look at an MFer and you say, "Man, I don't want to deal with this guy." Like someone has to say that, like when they play against you, going in, they can't really, they don't have confidence.
Ron Artest was a motherfucker.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah,
you don't want to go
You got
against.
the full government name on that.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
That's how I remember it. I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
Yeah,
I'll tell you another example of exactly what you just said. Kawhi Leonard checking back into the 2014 NBA
MFer.
Finals, and LeBron going, Jesus,
Yeah,
not
this
him again.
MFer.
that's a mother.
Kawhi Leonard's an MFer, right?
Yep. Dylan Brooks is an asshole because it's
Asshole.
like, yeah, I don't want to deal with you, but like
know,
not
it's
not
the
because I'm scared of you. It's
It's
like
the opposite.
I'll give
this
you
guy.
Halliburton as an asshole. You're right.
Like
this
to me,
wild.
this guy.
to me, Dylan Brooks is actually the opposite. They're like, oh yeah, bring him here. I'm gonna
Right, right.
make an example.
They
out of
turn you into a mother effer.
Yes, yep.
He brings the mother effer out in people that are assholes.
Yeah.
Are there any of either on the Thunder? They seem like a bunch of nice
Ooh,
guys.
nice guys.
SGA is kind of an MF.
MFer. SGA is an MFer.
He's got a little MFer.
Caruso.
Asshole.
MFer. Lou Dort.
Caruso is an MFer.
MFer. Other guys, nice guys.
Nice
man.
guys,
Hartenstein, Chet Holmgren, Jalen Williams. Even the other guys like Kenrich Williams, Isaiah Joe.
Cason Wallace.
Cason Wallace. Those guys are all, those at best they're assholes.
What
but
is
they're all nice
Josh
guys.
Hart?
Oh, Josh Hart's an MFer.
MFer.
Really? Josh Hart's an MFer.
Okay, I thought that would be a little bit more difficult. I think he toes the line. I think he,
I don't know
to
if he's
borrow
either,
a Dan
man.
phrase, it makes me giggle.
You
all
know
the
what it
time.
is? I start like all of my sayings at a high pitch and come down. Yeah. Like when I'm
Embracing-
interjecting, when it's like a thought I haven't thought about, and I just like, hey, I'm gonna bring this right from the brain to the mic. I like him.
You got
I go
this,
up here
Izzy.
first and come down.
Your inner asshole.
There it is.
Yeah.
I got it all out.
TJ McConnell?
MFer.
MFer.
I think so too.
for sure.
MFer, huh?
Yeah,
for sure.
MFer.
Yeah. Nemhart, same thing. What was the other guy that we talked about earlier?
Neesmith was what we were
Neesmith,
saying.
yeah,
Those
Neesmith.
three for sure.
Them.
And when you have like King Asshole and Tyrese Halliburton, maybe you're bordering on
balanced.
Siakam, nice guy.
Siakam's a nice guy.
Please do that.
Which
the
is
whole show.
Jalen Brunson.
Please play.
Brunson's an MFer.
the Doug intro music
Every time.
Every time Jeremy speaks.
You know what? That's what's going to allow you to speak longer because we can deal with it if there's a theme music behind it.
Well, no, that's just when Dan's not here.
Doug actually had some undercover musical bangers. I don't know if we have any
The
Doug,
beats.
like true. Oh, the beats.
Killer Tofu
Man.
is a banger.
Banging on a trash can. Drumming on a street light. One little voice is calling me, calling me.
Damn,
Look,
got that off the-
hey,
off
I've
the
never
easy.
I've never seen this
The
cartoon,
Doug,
but that sounds
the
great.
Doug Funny fans on this show,
Killer
they're gonna
Tofu.
they're gonna be killing us right now.
Oh, you. Killer tofu.
E-I-E.
Wait, you don't remember this show existing?
I remember the show. I
Okay.
just never watched
You never
it.
watched it.
I didn't
My
watch
cartoon
Nickelodeon?
ending days was
Goodness
pretty much
gracious.
the Rugrats, and that was the end.
But that was
watched
Nickelodeon.
That
was about
That was the same
time.
era.
Same time.
It doesn't matter what channel it was.
No, it was the same era.
They
Oh,
probably
okay.
came on right after one another.
It would be like someone say, "I watched Friends, but I didn't watch Seinfeld."
Maybe I watched early
early Rugrats.
because I just never got to Doug, or maybe the kids in my family just didn't watch Doug, and so I didn't watch it.
Killer Tofu.
It is-
E-I-E.
I'll tell you-
O-E-O.
Musical geniuses over
I'll
there.
tell you-
Killer Tofu.
I'll tell you a show that legitimately has crazy music. Like, yo, you guys are actually killing it in a way that's not normal for like a cartoon. Is Teen Titans Go? I don't know if any
They
of
got
you guys-
some bangers.
They've
I've
got
seen it.
a lot of bangers.
That's like really a new generation because you have recent kids, so
Yeah.
it's on. They got some bangers. Yo Gabba Gabba,
Yo Gabba Gabba with the DJ. What was the DJ's name?
DJ Lance Rock.
Lance Rock.
They used to have some bangers on there.
DJ Lance. I met that guy, man.
Maybe the Backyardigans.
Backyardigans for sure. That
Had some dope. This is like all new age. I got recent kids type of situation.
Oh man, I'm gonna tell
But
you.
old school Doug Funny music,
I'm gonna tell you one more, man.
the beats.
One more as a youngish parent, right? Mm-hmm. How old is your kid?
10 and 13.
Maybe. Okay, so definitely Sheriff Callie. You remember Sheriff Callie? It's on Disney Channel. Like,
Nah, he didn't.
Yippee-ki-yo. Like,
I didn't get in the
hi,
Sheriff Callie.
I'm Callie, and I'm the sheriff. Got a badge here on my chest. I'm riding and roping, and I'm making friends. Some say I'm the best in the West. Say
Yeah.
yippee-ki-yo.
From what I'm hearing, I'm not a big. From what I'm hearing, I don't like it.
Oh no, I'm telling you, it's a banger.
I mean, one of my friends, the guy who actually taught me how to play music, wrote a song for Teen Titans Go, my superhero movie.
No way.
He's the guy behind that song.
No way.
Yeah, he's from South
wow.
Florida. Went to
Yo,
Western
man,
High School.
You know a celebrity.
That is
Yeah.
a celebrity.
That's
Super
a celebrity.
Yeah,
Remember
bro.
talking about celebrities? You don't want to meet your heroes?
Shout out Jacob Jeffries.
Jacob Jeffries, man.
Shout out to Jacob
We
Jeffries.
should have you as a guest on the
Bangers.
show.
I'd love
On
to
a
bring
fri-
him
on a
Big
Friday.
Panther fan.
Really?
Can we-
Let's have him on the show.
Can we
I'll
look up
text him.
banging on the
He's
trash
in LA.
can?
It might be early.
Can we get a banging on the trash can?
We got Need More Allowance here.
Oh, Need More. Oh my God, bro. If you play Need More Alliance, oh,
We got demonetized like an MF for today.
Need More Allowance, yodelay.
Making no money on it.
Nah, we're good.
You have Doug being very litigious.
Why? That is a dope song. Why? Because I do. That's something.
That's
to
basically
take-
F you pay me.
That is. I think I've lived by those words subconsciously my whole life. Why? Because I do. Period.
Is that how you went into contract negotiation?
Straight up, like I need more money.
Why?
Why? Because I do.
Oh, man.
End of discussion. Contract signed. Thank you, Doug Funny and Patty Mayonnaise.
Tony, you are the most recent father among us. What music or what TV shows have now started to dominate your rotation?
So right now she's still too young. We don't give her a lot of screen time. What she does love watching is
You're not a
Hoops.
better parent than me.
No.
Right?
No,
You said it
it's not
that way.
about
Nah,
being-
the parents
no.
do this. Like, we're not doing the screen time thing.
hey,
You'll do
hey,
it. You'll
hey,
get there.
hey,
You'll
hey,
get
hey,
there.
Hey, Chris.
She's 4 months old.
Chris, you know what the next step is, right? Tony starts doing like his MMA hangouts with pictures of himself that his child drew behind him.
Oh
You
my
know about-
God.
Do you know about this, Hawk?
Miss Dominique.
I don't.
Dominique Foxworth.
Okay.
This guy does his hits, his TV hits or whatever when he's doing it remote from home. And behind him, he's got a bulletin board of like portraits painted by his children. But like they're not the type of portraits that children would paint.
We're skeptical
Yeah,
of all of it.
For one of them has an immaculate hairline, and we're like, to the point where we're like, yo, why would your kid draw a picture of Jalen Rose? That's what it looked like. But I'm sorry, Tony.
So she doesn't. She loves watching hoops and hockey because the
nice.
movement of the thing.
How do you
like,
show her that without screens?
Well, here's the thing.
Interesting.
We have her. Listen to this.
So do we take her down to the street ball court or something?
We got a mat right that sits in front of the TV.
Just put her right in front of this
No,
giant
listen.
TV.
No. And I got two. It's a 2 TV setup tiered. But so we put her backwards.
IMAX for babies.
We put her backwards, right? And then what she started
She's like
doing,
at the sphere.
what she started doing is this. She looks back like this and arches her back and looks back at the TV like this, which isn't great. My wife's like, dude, come on, what are you doing? Whatever. I'm like, yeah, but it's wolves.
Okay, so instead of just her eyes being messed up from the screen,
exactly.
now she has
Now it's backwards.
scoliosis. Got it.
Exactly.
Awesome. Yeah.
But so
you guys are crushing it.
Thank you. We haven't really been watching TV like little kids TV, but she has this like little piano that she like steps on.
Yeah.
And it's I don't know if again not any new fathers here, but maybe you could be a purple monkey in a bubblegum tree.
Okay.
You loser.
What kind of tree?
What kind of tree?
It's a purple monkey in a bubblegum tree.
That sounds like
I think
that's a bar.
John Legend remixed it.
That's
and
a
did
bar
his own song
for kids under 1.
That's the thing.
Yeah.
I mean,
that's a bar.
and a lot of it is like just like classical music.
Yeah,
that's
classical
playing.
music is good, man.
And then Head, Shoulders, Knees, and Toes is a certified banger in my house.
Oh yeah, that's like
She loves it.
We got this Dominique photo for Hawk to look at.
Oh yeah, there he is. That's Jalen Rose in the bottom.
We just think it's a little look at me. Like, you're not a better parent than me, Dominique. You don't love your kids more than I do.
Yeah.
Like, your Zoom background doesn't have to be this.
Yeah, it's
It also looks like Greeny is breaking down the paintings, right?
like we did.
Like, why? Like, bottom right there. That's Jalen Rose.
That's Jalen Rose.
That is Jalen Rose. That is for sure Jalen Rose. But regardless, I would have liked it to be a little bit more organized for television.
But that's what he's going for.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, this is just.
This is what kids would have done.
I let my kids put it up.
This is how kids would have done
When
it.
really it's him.
It's him.
I will
like-
say
it's like his
his
assistant.
hairline looks great in this shot.
It does.
So
I mean,
it's
he's got a
not,
great
Not as
hairline.
good as that picture.
I mean,
Not as good as that picture right there.
none of our pictures. None of us look as good as our pictures. Let's be honest, right?
Or
Is that
particularly
not the
our
same?
portraits that our children. That's why I know. I said my kids. What they do is they will inspect the top of my head and be like, "I lost a little bit more today." Like that's how kids do. They're not nice.
No,
they're not
yeah.
sweet. They don't see the best version of you.
Yeah. I agree.
I want Hawk, since you're here, and also Izzy, because you're here.
I am
This
here.
is the greatest confluence
Invested.
of minds on this topic.
Okay.
The NFL has announced they're going to allow their players to participate in the Olympics in flag football.
Let's do it.
We have, on my left, we have a gentleman who played many years of professional football in the NFL.
I did. Yeah.
On my right, we have a gentleman who's played many years of professional flag football. Is it semi-pro?
paid?
Professional, I did not get paid.
Oh,
No.
okay. About to say then, damn, sign me up. I need some of that
Just played travel tournaments in flag football.
So,
high level competitive
Yeah,
flag
yeah, yeah.
football.
yeah, okay. So that's good enough for the purpose of this conversation.
Yeah.
So
it's not really a pro flag football league, so that's
not yet.
Not yet, but I'm saying, right? Like I'm giving the context that he's played at the highest level.
He's the highest
Of flag
available level of flag football.
Yeah.
Right? So, first and foremost, Hawk, as a former NFL player, had this been an option for you in the middle of your career, would you have pursued it?
Ooh, good question.
Man,
And as you think about that, the reason why, the other day we had David Sampson, we talked about it a little bit, and we kind of moved off of it, but the name I wanted to bring up more than any, when I heard this, was like Robert Edwards. And I don't know how many of you guys remember Robert Edwards. Robert Edwards played at University of Georgia, and he's actually like the cousin of my roommate from college. And so Robert Edwards was the guy. I remember him coming back. And in Atlanta, we'd hanging out, and it's like we get in everywhere with Robert Edwards. And then he gets drafted by the Patriots, and he has a great rookie year.
What year, roughly?
98, 99, something like that. And then Robert Edwards went to the Pro Bowl in Hawaii, like to hang out because they had all those stuff. And one of the events they used to have was a flag football game.
Yep.
And Robert Edwards absolutely destroyed his knee to the point where they almost had to amputate.
I
Think about
remember that.
How bad you got to blow your knee out. And after that, they got rid of that flag football thing.
was it on turf? AstroTurf?
It was in Hawaii. I don't know what
The
it was
Aloha
like.
Bowl's
Ask
grass, I
Jeremy.
think.
Jeremy, I think you were dating Patty Mayonnaise at the time. Do you remember in 1998 where that flag football game was being?
Why do I have
No,
memories
but I
of
can
those
look it
games
up. I
happening
can
on
try to go back
sand?
in my photos and go find
All
it.
right, thank you.
I have memories of those games happening on like the beach.
It was
which
on
wouldn't have been
sand.
Great,
I
wasn't
just
it?
got the confirmation from
Okay.
Danny B.
That's not good though. Who okayed that one?
Yeah, I mean, we didn't really have a competition committee back then, so it was
Hawaii.
the wild,
They're
wild
like
west.
sand, yeah. Why
They
not?
were like, let's race, let's tackle full speed in these All-Star games.
Cut on sand.
Just so you know, Hawk, if you play with us, we do not play on sand.
All
we
right.
play on grass
That's
and a
good to
little
know.
bit of turf.
That's my union would be questioning things.
So okay, but now that I've given
Yeah.
that backdrop, it's grass.
Yep.
It's the Olympics.
Okay.
Andrew Hawkins, young receiver, finally after years of fighting, finally made his way into the NFL. He's a rotation player. He's having highlights where he goes like all throughout the field.
Yeah.
And they're like, Hawk, we're putting together an Olympic squad.
Yeah.
Are you interested?
I'd say, where do I sign right now?
Really?
For free.
Really?
Whatever it takes.
The Olympics means that much to you, or the sport itself?
I think
is
the
interesting?
so here's the story. When I was in the NFL, we got wind that rugby sevens was coming to the Olympics, and rugby sevens it's like not as involved as like rugby 15s.
Right.
It's like a spread out field.
It's like 7-on-7, basically.
It's like 7-on-7. You get it to the wing, and that guy boom, 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 and you hit the sideline. If you have the speed and agility against guys that aren't used to tackling that speed and agility, you can really get going. So I'm like, I want to be an Olympian. That would be an incredible thing to do, and I want to do it. So I started training in the off seasons for rugby sevens with a guy named Perry Baker. We were in Columbus, and we would train, and I was in Ohio, and Perry was a D2 football player who was trying to convert, and I think he undrafted, but he been out of football for a long time. And on my team was Johnson Batamosi, who was an incredible rugby player in high school, and Nate Ebner went to Ohio State, who he played for the Patriots, was also a high-level rugby player. So we were all like in the group chat chatting, and our plan was in 2016 we were all going to go play for the rugby sevens Olympic team.
So
and
the
go through
sevens, they don't do
process.
that thing where you like lift the dude up by the shorts all the way up? Okay,
No,
good.
no, it's just like ball out, get to the wing, and go.
Right.
Well, long story short,
Too late.
Browns wouldn't do it. The Patriots did. Nate Ebner went and played in the Olympics in 2016. He was able to leave training camp, play in the Olympics for the USA team. Perry Baker ended up being the best rugby sevens player in the history of the sport. If you look him up now, he's
Really?
Dallas Baker's little brother, if you remember the name Dallas Baker, who was a receiver for Florida. But yeah, I was trying to move heaven and earth.
I say, of course, because I went to Florida. Everybody else doesn't really know Dallas Baker.
But I was trying to move heaven and earth to get to the Olympics.
Hawk, do you think you would have been better than Baker?
No. Because he had such straight line speed. Like,
More
What was
you?
your 40 time?
he had more time to like really get in the into the sport.
Yeah, you know.
But if you had the same time.
I think I would have been up there. Yeah. Carlin Alves is another one who was a college football player, track runner, and he converted and he tore up. He played in the Olympics.
Did they
as
end
well.
up winning?
I can't
Because
remember.
I feel like rugby sevens,
I don't think they did
there's
that.
enough competition where it's like it's not guaranteed.
No.
Whereas flag football, we got to wash the world, right? This got to be like Dream Team versus Angola, right?
If I was flag football generation, I'd be sitting here like LeBron James, man.
Yeah.
You would be like,
Yeah.
like, there's not a sport that I am more positioned to be.
It's not
incredible
just
in.
that we have the best athletes for that sport, but nobody else game plans for football the way we
Right.
do here in the United States, especially even flag football. It's a different type of game planning, but I don't see people doing that overseas.
Gold medal stand for the 2016 Rugby Sevens. Fiji won gold. Great Britain, silver. South Africa, bronze. And the United States placed ninth.
Yeah.
Only in front of Spain, Kenya, and Brazil.
Yeah, rugby because the
used
point
me.
is, but yeah, exactly. It's because a Hawk wasn't there.
Damn.
But also like the idea that like what you just described, taking people who play other sports and teaching them how to play rugby versus over there. That's the shit that they just play.
Right,
But now it's
exactly.
vice versa. For us, for flag football, they might be taking rugby players and try to teach them flag football. Meanwhile, up here, everyone's played flag football, I feel like. So, Izzy, I want to ask you, as our flag football expert, if you were putting together a team to go to the Olympics, do you just grab the best NFL players available and just say, they got it?
Not
Or-
necessarily. There's a certain skill set that I want. Like I need like Andrew Hawkins' level of quickness and changing of directions. You gotta look for I don't know what I call it, loose hips, or you just kind of every once in a while.
Swivel, good swivel. On the
yeah.
You tried to get me to play for your flag football team, so I don't know how.
Well, you were a
Impressive
sneaky,
traits we're
well,
looking
that was
for
a
here.
local league.
They have
It was
centers-
a local
they
league,
have
not
centers
the
in
travel
flag
league.
football.
But we do. We semi-contact. We have so you would have been a center, tight end, little dump off.
Someone has to snap
Pull
it.
your shorts up as you start running.
Little 10-yard button hook.
But I'm looking for like the Tyreek Hills. But I do need one big target. Like I need just a giant of a man or somebody who can get up for jump balls at least. And then if it's 7-on-7, if there's like semi-contact like there is in my league, we do need some sort of hybrid blockers, tight end types. But there's certain skill sets. Like it's not just anybody. Like Jalen Waddle, for example, is not a guy that I would say, yeah, get him on my team immediately. Right. Of course, I would now, but I'm saying if I had my choice of NFL players, great receiver, but just not the skill set I'm looking for.
To be clear, the talent pool we're talking about is not Chris Cody. We're talking about the talent pool of NFL players.
I like Jalen Waddle on that team, though.
Really?
I like him.
I do. Okay. I mean, I was recently at a Dolphins practice, so I have it very.
Maybe I haven't seen him enough.
You gotta, if you've seen him up close, you'd be like, I'll take him.
Because they did call him the athlete at Alabama when he was amongst all those other first-round wide receivers.
Very good in changing.
Or the
I like Tyreek Hill. Travis Hunter is probably choice number one because of his ability to do both sides of the ball. Quarterback is an interesting one. I would probably go with Lamar.
I was going to say Kyler Murray, but
Kyler Murray too. Yeah, because it's like you want someone with the dual ability to move, buy time, and throw on the run. It's like an important thing.
And somebody that if you do like double quarterbacks, you can line that dude up in the slot. He can run some routes for you.
Yeah.
Bill Polian's dream. Finally.
Thinking ahead.
Izzy sees what I'm talking about.
I told you he could play receiver.
Is this a situation where we're going to have like Jamar Chase and Justin Jefferson playing defense too? Or are they going to have enough players to have defensive players?
That'll be the liability if so.
That would be sick, though.
So
I don't think the Vikings would like that.
Who are the guys who you would go? I mean, Travis Hunter is the easy answer, but who are the guys that you would trust?
Well, that was my answer, so that sucks. Damn.
Who would be the guys that you say, hey, you know what? I think you could play both ways.
I don't know if he can play any offense at all, but I think I told this story recently. I was at the gym the other day, and there was somebody setting up to film their client, and I was just like, oh, God, what's going on here? This is going to be annoying. And he sets up some hurdles, right? And the athlete that I see just starts coming and jumping 2 legs over the hurdles, and I'm not exaggerating when I say when he got to the top of the hurdles, just floated there for a little while and then landed. And I'm like, I asked my trainer, I was like, what is this guy? It was, Patrick Surtain II. And I was like, oh, Jesus, that guy, I want him on my team immediately. Like, I don't know. Like, he floats in the air. Like, he does not just jump and come back down. That guy defies gravity.
I'm going to tell you right now. I said, I don't think the humans can actually levitate and fly. But if they could, Jason Richardson was one of them.
Oh, man.
Because the first time we acquired Jason Richardson in practice, every time on the break, he would dunk. It wasn't like, you know how people jump and it goes straight up and they dunk and they land?
Like a get up, get down situation.
He would just softly, gently.
Stay up there, do whatever he had to do while he was up there, and then come down.
And then check his watch and make a phone call. Yeah, honey, I'll be back later. Okay. Oh, shit, I got to get back downstairs. Ooh. And I was like, how is that possible? It's the craziest thing I've ever seen. Like, he looked like I swear to, I was like, if you could actually fly, but you wanted to keep it a secret, you can't. It would not look like you're jumping, right? It would look kind of weird, kind of like you're on wires. That's how it looked like, and it's always blown my mind. And now it's blowing my mind that his son is going to get drafted. His son, crazy. By the way, you want to hear some crazy shit? In the family room, we had like a Fisher-Price goal for the little kids. Like he was maybe 18 months. Definitely not 2 years old.
Yeah. Was he getting any screen time?
When I tell you what he was getting. He was doing windmills and like a 2-year-old.
Get out
of here.
Come on.
On everything. On everything.
I literally just was in a family situation with a 2-year-old and be like, wow, she just learned how to jump. And you're saying this dude was doing 360.
Full cycle windmills?
He was doing full, like.
Get him on the heat.
Yeah. It was the most phenomenal thing. I said,
scouting here by me.
That's it. That's all I need.
Stock in a child. And it's like,
I mean, sitting there with a Fisher-Price hoop and a notepad, like
it's like, ooh, okay,
I like that.
I would have offered on the spot. If I was Tom Izzo, on the spot, right there. Come to the family room. Look at this kid. Full ride.
Haven't even developed, which is his strong hand. Let's make him a lefty. Let's make it a little bit more unique.
It was incredible. Like it was. I've never in my life seen a child like that advanced.
You check back in 16, 18 years from now to see if you were right about him.
I mean, he's in NBA. He's in the draft.
Oh, that was back then. I thought this was a new 2-year-old.
No, this was like 2007 or whatever, 2008. When I saw this, and obviously he was a high-rated prospect coming out of high school. He goes to Michigan State. He played really well for Michigan State this year, and now he's in the draft combine. And I'm like, yeah, I kind of saw this.
If you follow the DNA trail, it's actually not as hard as people think it is, man. It's just pretty simple that if Jason Richardson's son is going to probably be at a level of athlete that puts him in position to maybe be a professional.
I mean, Tony, we talked about this with Tim Hardaway Jr., right? It's like, it's one of those things, like, it really comes down to, does the kid like doing this?
Yeah.
If he does,
he's good.
He's going to be good.
Right.
Like,
I actually think that some of these athletes have found a way to have twins. Because that's the chances are double, right?
Like
Carlos
double
Boozer
it.
has twins. Doesn't Eddie House have twins?
Eddie House has twins.
Yeah, the Thompson twins are in there.
Eddie
Like,
House
I've got twins.
By the way, around the same era, Eddie House's twins, terrors.
Yes.
Terrors. They were the ones that were like setting shit on fire. Like,
Love it.
It was awful.
Feed off of each other.
Yeah.
Another two-way guy for the flag football team, Miles Garrett. Put him out, see if he can catch some passes, but
absolutely.
No.
he would
Absolutely.
be
You
a
say no?
No.
Micah-
I love Miles Garrett.
Micah- what about
look, there's a
Micah?
picture of me playing flag football.
Micah Parsons.
Michael
is
Parsons?
There's rushers in my league.
Yeah,
Can you
they-
imagine
yeah,
Miles
Miles
Garrett
Garrett?
coming at me from 5 yards? Like, oh my god!
I don't
Like,
know if that's who you want, though. Because Miles Garrett, yes, he's great at rushing the quarterback because he's great at rushing the quarterback with speed against other guys who are also huge. So he neutralizes their size. With no blockers,
could
you
kill
want
somebody.
you might even want a corner.
Right.
No, you're
That's
right,
that's
you're right,
the
you're right.
rusher.
I want Amon-Ra St. Brown on my team. That's who I think is good.
I like
from
him on
Detroit?
Raw. I could see him playing good at defense.
It's perfect for
Jameer
flag
Gibbs,
football.
another guy that they're saying.
Oh man.
Yeah, I like Jameer
Devon
Gibbs.
Achane and Gibbs at running back.
It's kind of like the 7-on-7 game.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, because it's like also like 7-on-7 was a receivers, running backs, tight ends against the secondary. Now in high school, they're putting receivers at linebacker, running back. Like they're just
Everybody's
making them-
hybrid now.
Everyone's hybrid, and it's all just like
Which is why I like Miles Garrett as a middle linebacker and like a guy you send as a second rusher to just really scare the shit out of
Just
the
a
quarterback.
scary-
Like, while you're up here, your
Right.
little corner's over there pulling the flag
It's
from the side.
It's a great like intimidation thing, right? Like if you're like Argentina, like, okay, boys, let's go, we got this, and they walk out and see Miles Garrett, like, fuck, man.
Yeah.
who is this guy?
Yeah, I like that. I would also want somebody that like you don't know if they're gonna like forget that they're playing flag football. Like if Vontez Burfict was
Yeah.
like still in shape.
Across the middle, just
It's like, yeah.
throws an elbow at somebody.
Maybe he's not the best cover guy out here, but they don't.
You gotta
he
have
might
Micah
just
Parsons.
he
Him
might
and
just
Harrison.
do it. You know what I'm saying?
You know what it's like, Hawk? It's like the Redeem Team documentary where Kobe said to the guys, "I'm gonna hit Powell really
Right,
hard
hard
the
chest.
Run
first
through a
play."
mother chest.
And then like it's gonna mess him up. And the same thing, you just have one guy come out there and the first play clean take someone's head off.
Just show him what like
He's gonna get
the
a-
other football is real quick. He's gonna get ejected.
But
and then
everybody
we're
else
gonna,
is-
but
Play
the
man
rest
down,
of the
and
game,
that's
they're gonna
okay.
be like, "Oh man, I don't
Speaking
know."
of the Olympics, by the way, did you know that Amin is a gold medalist?
Yeah,
In what?
Redeem Team. I was on the staff. You're
What is
wel-
that?
You're welcome.
Well, he
That's-
doesn't have a medal though. That's the whole
because they
weird
only give
thing.
the
That's
players.
semantics,
So
though.
Coach K technically doesn't have any gold medals. I mean, I'm
Right.
just saying, like me and
Yeah.
Coach K, same
You
amount
guys-
of gold medals. But
When I think of Coach K, I do think of you.
there you go.
That's
Yeah.
amazing.
Jerry Colangelo, shout out to Mr. C. Thank you.
You know who I want on the
minimize
flag
that.
football team? The random Gator who wore number 21. He was just like a giant dude. I think he's on
Corner?
the Bucks now. I want that
He's
guy.
like 470
corner.
pounds.
I don't know his name, but I want him just out there.
Desmond Watson, I believe was his name.
Can't be wearing number
No one told
21
you that for
big.
sure in your
Can't-
head.
Can't do it.
No, I remember him.
For sure.
Him and then the guy from Baylor. Remember him?
That guy was huge.
That dude was
Roy
terrible.
is
That guy
so
was
right. You
huge,
cannot wear a running back number at that size.
That's what made it so cool.
Or a DB number.
If that's 98, it doesn't stand out to me. 21, I remember that guy.
My nephew was a defensive lineman at Penn State, and he wore number 27
I'm gonna tell you what,
because his
Desmond
dad
Watson.
wore 27.
Desmond
and his
Watson.
dad
Oh,
was
there
a
you go.
corner.
That's cute.
So
Desmond Watson looks like he was running back to the buffet.
Nice.
I like what you did there. So the flag football Olympics moment is something that, like, I think is going to change the face of football forever.
Wow.
Like, this is their dream team moment.
You know what Amin was trying to do there, right? Yeah. Just end it right when that clock hits 0.
Oh, I wasn't paying attention
Yeah,
to
I know.
that.
Calling all hoopers. Calling all between the leg dribblers. Calling all behind the back passers. Calling all bench warmers. Guess what time it is? It's playoff o'clock. And since I love to give gifts, I'm bringing you post-game lives. That's right, I'm going live after every Eastern Conference game. And since we're going live, you got to know I got to bring my crew. Trista Crick, Zach Harper, Josh Smith, Kofi Yaboa, Amin El Hassan, Israel Gutierrez, Tony Calatayud, Oprah Winfrey, maybe even Senor Daniel Le Batard. Join us to talk smack or celebrate with us every single night right here on the DLS YouTube channel, baby. YouTube, you see us.
This episode is presented by DraftKings. DraftKings, the crown is yours.
What was the pump there? The train? What are you doing there?
Just working it.
It's an and
Just
one.
working it.
Choo-choo.
I like them.
You know what's funny? When you guys do that now, I don't know when you're playing the clip.
Or when I'm talking.
Or when anyone, like everyone's gotten so good at doing that one impression.
Yeah.
Just limited fake hawk.
I love it, man.
I like them.
That means I'm truly a part of the family, and I appreciate it, man. Regardless if people think my name is Walter, I'm okay with that.
Walter?
I've actually started to embrace the name. I looked up T-shirts this week that said, "Hi, my name is Walter," but they wouldn't have got here on time for me to wear it to the studio. So
I could see you as a Walter. You give off a little
do
Walter.
I give a Walter?
Sure.
Even
Not
with
Walt,
this
though.
90s tactical.
It wouldn't
vest?
be Walt, but Walter.
I feel like
yes.
it has to be Walt as a black man. There's no way I could be Walter and not be called Walt.
Walt Williams.
By the way, we got a note from our producer Taylor during that last segment, and I think he hit the nail on the head here. As far as the style, the vest, Jeremy versus Hawk, this is a two Americas thing. Nothing Jeremy wears could look cool, and nothing Hawk wears would not look cool.
Yeah, that's a good point.
I think it's totally fair.
From another
I try
ambiguous
so hard.
Goat.
Brother, yeah.
From the other goat of racially ambiguous.
What is he?
He has the authority to speak on.
Hawk, when you walked in, you were like,
Well, especially after he said,
What's up, my...
what's up, Walter? What's the angle? What's the angle of that hand? Are we going this way? Are we going up? Are we going down? Where are we here? What's the angle?
That's a big one, man.
This is
Reading
a Shane
that
Battier situation.
incoming thing. Also, when you find out Taylor's last name is Vipolis, that even makes it more confusing.
Yeah, it's tough, man.
Was that Greek?
I don't know.
guess.
I don't know what it is.
We don't know.
But Taylor,
It's everything.
the mention of Taylor reminds me of something. It reminds me of North Carolina, which reminds me of the one and only.
Oh, we got
Michael Jordan. No?
Well, no. Bill Belichick. Close.
Oh, okay.
Right?
Okay.
The Michael Jordan, maybe.
Have you talked to Michael Jordan recently?
Not since Hall of Fame when he.
So when he got inducted in the Hall of Fame a decade ago?
No.
He'll talk to him
Not
at his
since-
funeral when
When
MJ
yes,
goes.
not
When he
not
says
since,
a couple words?
Not since Jay Adonde going into the Hall of Fame, and
Like, oh, this is a mean? That's what Michael Jordan
brother,
this is who
brother. I wish it was like that. I wish it was like
We
that.
played
No.
this game.
Yeah,
I love playing it. It's my favorite game
I
to play
wish
with
MJ
him.
knew me less.
No, look, man. Hey, man. Hey, all I gotta say is I didn't try to talk to him. He stopped me.
Oh,
He
look at
stopped
you.
me. And you know what? Shout out to MJ, man.
Are you wearing Jordans right now?
Of course, I'm wearing Jordans right now. These are
Team Jordans?
not Team Jordans.
Oh, my
Not Team
gosh.
not
He's
Team
never
Jor-
met you in his life.
These are not Team Jordans, sir. You don't even know what these are. That's
Exactly.
That's
What
exactly.
are those?
These are exactly. You're just showing your ignorance right now. You go wait in line at finish line for your pair. Okay.
oh,
Goodness
God.
gracious.
yeah.
Ouch.
This guy.
Finish line.
That was unnecessary.
Can we at
Right.
least show the audience so
Yeah,
there's
show
some
the
payoff
shoes.
visually?
Y'all don't know. Yeah, sure.
Put action.
Yeah. All right. There you go.
I don't think they saw
right
it.
here. They're zooming in on it right now. They're
What are
probably
they? Seriously.
They're SP1s, I want to say.
What are SP1s?
Oh, see, you,
like
you don't
these.
need to worry about. You don't need to worry about what's happening at high levels.
Sean
I like how
Payton
you keep it
ones.
vague. So
Tony,
that
you-
it's like, I'm not telling you because it's if you know, or I'm not telling you because
Tony, you remember?
nobody likes them.
You remember when it was in the playoffs, and it was. I know it was the Warriors, and someone was complaining, and it was like, "Yo, you don't need to concern yourself with things that." Durant said that
Yeah,
to CJ McCollum.
yes.
I knew I was going to get there sooner or later.
SP1.
By the way,
I'm looking them up.
I'm looking at the Hawk screen. I swear to God, he's got the SBJ 40 under 40 like invite on the screen.
That's not an invite. That's a retreat.
Okay, whatever, man.
That's a retreat
You guys have
for
retreats?
the honorees. Yeah, apparently I haven't gotten around to signing up.
Where at?
And I'm one of those people that keep the tabs open till I'm like, okay, I
thought you
my
hit 40
to-do
already.
list. Like all my tabs are my to-do list.
So before we got sidetracked on this whole Michael Jordan's my best friend thing, I want to talk about Pablo, who's taking this investigation into Jordan / Belichick to another level. So we remember the video of Belichick leaving this house with no
I
shirt
listen
on,
to it every day.
right? Mm-hmm. Yes, exactly.
Why was that a big deal?
Well, it's
Great audio.
It's great audio for one, but for another thing, they keep trying to deny, right? And Pablo, when he came out with that story and they said he was wrong and false and all that stuff, he came with a very cryptic message like, yo, don't let me go back into the archives and pull some more.
Well, here's why it was a question, right? And I didn't get this either.
Yeah.
It's like, why? If it was, as it was reported, that this was Jordan's house, then why would she leak the ring cam footage, right? Ah, that sound. Yeah. That's why I just listened for a second. But so why would she leak the ring cam? It all seems pretty contrived.
Right.
And then, so this is where Pablo kept doing some digging.
kept doing some digging, and guess what, guys? He done dug. Let's let him tell you.
Dog funny?
Not that Doug.
Okay, I was about to say, Jeremy.
Exclusively for the first time
Oh, boy.
is the other video.
Oh my God.
He has a satchel.
Yeah, it's got a little Merce.
A work bag, right?
He is very shirtless.
Let's go into
He
the.
has like a
it is
leather
a high
satchel.
bikini, isn't it?
Okay, so he's still topless. Absolutely yum yum delish.
Great. A bag with a leather strap that he's clearly not figured out how to tighten because it's looped in a way you definitely wouldn't be choosing.
At this point, I decided to take a trip.
You went to the
Shut
town.
up, Pablo.
You've been to
Shut
this
up,
house?
Pablo.
If you show me a ring cam video
Oh,
with you,
Pablo!
no.
Pablo, what the? Fuck?
Pablo at the house.
Pablo, what the?
This is crazy. This is crazy. I don't understand what.
This is the craziest part right here.
I don't understand what
Is
podcast
this Truman
this is.
Show? Is
What
this
is
World
that?
Truman Show?
Where are we?
What's going on?
Recreation of the Belichick ring
Oh
cam
my
video
God, what's
by Pablo.
going on?
But he's wearing clothes.
Yeah.
Unfortunately,
He should have done it
didn't
shirtless.
Yeah,
commit.
coward.
Okay,
Yeah,
I need
this
a
is
lot
why he
of
has an Emmy.
answers now.
He should have committed.
That's
Pablo is
crazy.
a crazy person.
That's
man.
that's insane.
Level of petty.
I was never in on this story. It bothered the hell out of me because it's just like, man, why do we need to go inside these personal lives of these folks, regardless of, how many generations of gap there is between them? But Pablo got me into it. And I don't know if it was just the little detail of he's the highest paid public employee in the state of North Carolina.
Which, by the way, that's standard in most states that the highest paid employee is
Right.
the
The
football
coach.
coach.
But don't tell me he wouldn't be as intrigued if he was still working for the private New England Patriots and had this situation. But then, the idea of this person that we've known for so long as the do your job guy, the no distractions guy, is bringing a heck of a distraction with him to UNC. And then on top of everything else, despite the fact that she is doing all these things, like basically controlling all of his interviews, she's still denying things that are being reported, still sort of mocking Pablo because he retweeted somebody who said that Pablo needs to get a hobby when Pablo reported that she's been around the Patriots since 2021. Mm-hmm. And so when they're denying all this stuff, trying to mock him, you think that's going to make Pablo want to do more reporting or less reporting?
If you think that this story is interesting, you have to listen to this episode of Pablo.
Yeah, I don't want to give too much away.
Because he talks, he goes, obviously we just saw, he goes to this Airbnb, he talks to the owners, he interviews them about Belichick and Jordan being there. It's just very interesting. They didn't even recognize Belichick at first. They were like, is this
He's got a couple of gotcha moments where they sort of deny something and he's just like, nope, there's evidence that this is true.
That's not violation of HIPAA.
They
HIPAA
speculate.
laws?
I mean, maybe they weren't revealed. Like they did it anonymously.
So
What's the HIPAA law on what we're looking at here?
We don't have Airbnb HIPAA laws.
No, they said to their the owners of
This
the
is
place
kinda
said that
BS,
in the
though.
description there is a line that says there are ring cams outside, so you're aware.
Yeah.
So you will be recorded in that situation.
This is my thing about this whole thing, right? Like, if we were dealing with a case of like, pick someone else, right? Like, pick anyone else who doesn't have a public nature of their relationship, right? Then it's different, right? Like, then it's like, hey, man, you guys are. But they open the doors. They come look at
Bill
my
Belichick
private
goes
life.
from the most private person ever to doing weird photo shoots and putting that out on social.
And you're thinking, how did Pablo figure out where the Airbnb was? Where, like, there must have been some insight. They essentially found it. Maybe I'm giving away too much. Go watch the episode. But they found it from the comments. Like, she gave a review of the Airbnb. That's how they found where the Airbnb was, by just like, someone named Jordan on this date wrote, great spot, very,
Like,
good deal.
Here's the deal. Like, you kind of are courting this, right? They court it. They look for it, and this is where it's found. And you know what it's like? It's like when Britney Spears, I watched that Britney Spears documentary, and she was complaining about, like, man, I went to Starbucks, and then I'm like, baby girl, you can't go to Starbucks anymore. Did they not tell you that? Like, you've reached a point where going to Starbucks, someone goes to Starbucks for you. You don't go in the drive-thru anymore. Same thing here. It's like
No, you got to call him baby boy.
Baby boy. Hey, baby boy.
Well, and the difference here is, like, these are grown adults, right?
Yeah.
So, like, Britney
Tyrese.
Spears, she was a young
She was an adult.
girl.
She was an
well, no,
adult.
by the time that happened, sure, but she
Yeah.
was a young girl by the time she was granted celebrity.
She
was
never
on
got the
Mickey
chance
Mouse
to
Club.
make the
She
decision.
never got a chance to make the
Right.
decision. These are two people who have actively made the decision in their adult lives. This is what we want to bring on. We want to bring on this public spotlight. And people are going to have questions and go down a rabbit hole, particularly if you have a complicated relationship like this one.
It's not that it's complicated. To me, like, the age is like the least of it.
Oh,
to me,
yeah.
it's that Belichick. It's the least of it.
It's
'Cause
where
to
it
me,
started.
It's that Belichick
Yes.
has
I don't know if
always
it's the
been
least of it.
It's the least of
we're
it to
talking
me.
least.
To me,
19 and 67.
Here's where, to me,
She's
this
not
is where the question marks come in.
not 19.
Any relationship,
She was.
okay, she was 19.
In
We all
2021.
2021
We're all
she was.
19. It was.
any relationship you have, what are the first questions? One of the first couple questions. Hey, how'd you guys meet? And of course, you tell
What's
the
your favorite
story
cereal?
usually, right? When you shut that down immediately, we're not going to talk about that. It sounds sketchy.
your
It
favorite
creates
character on Doug?
questions.
This is why I think it's particularly weird. It's because Belichick has always been this fortress. You can't get to know this dude at all, right? We hear stories like, oh, he's actually really funny. We don't know that. His players know it because he's always been inside. So now all of a sudden, the most secretive man in the sport, I'm seeing his whole life. Of course, that begs questions. The other part of it is when you get, this is what I've learned, man. When you get caught, just like, hey, man, you got me. The protesting and, oh, you don't know what you're talking about. Turns out we do know what we're talking about. That's the part where you ask the question, you think that's going to make Pablo report more, report less?
I think
it's one thing to be like, yeah, man, but this is kind of an invasion of privacy, in which case I think Pablo would probably get shamed and back off. But when you say, you're wrong, that ain't true, Pablo's like, oh, you don't think it's true? Oh, you want to see this? Like that?
I'm going to go recreate the video.
Exactly.
He should have been shirtless.
What a
We all
dick.
agree, right?
Can we agree that
Easily,
Pablo's a
bro.
dick?
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
That is a
Good
Not a
journalist.
motherfucker. He's an
Great
asshole.
journalist.
Most journalists are.
Great journalist. But yes, he's a dick.
Just so smug walking through that house.
Oh, like the turn and wave.
Wait till this drops.
The turn and wave.
Like,
Exactly.
so
That's I can't wait for this shit to drop.
Wait till we transition from the BTS view right to the ring cam.
I don't want to give
Shit's
away too
gonna
much,
knock.
but I want to say I feel like this isn't even the most insane level of research he did for this episode.
Yeah, it's great.
Like,
It
there's
really
another
is.
level of something that he did that'll just make you say, this dude's crazy. Because taking a trip to a nice little, spoiler alert, beach town in Boston, not that difficult, especially when you know you're going to get that, right?
It's a
But when you do the
small
other thing that
She
he did
definitely
later in
picked
the
that
episode,
Airbnb.
A really small Airbnb,
Dog,
by the way.
That's not the area I would
Hawk.
expect Bill Belichick to be in this
Hawk,
Airbnb.
there's so much of this that's
It's just outside of Boston,
there's
apparently.
so much of this whole thing that always screams to me, small time trying to do big time things.
Well, I think she's
She-
young.
she-
and
of
I'm not
course,
trying to
Leaving
make any
reviews with your name,
Small
like
time
that is
trying to do big time.
You don't.
things.
You don't know the game, and
Doesn't
she's
know the
like,
game.
it's like, okay, Bill Bel, and she's convinced this older gentleman, and I don't want to make it sound like Bill Belichick's a victim. That's not what
He's
I'm
not.
insinuating.
He's not.
But she's like, okay,
Let me
no,
tell
in
you
this
about
in this world, you have to have a public image. You need to be using this. This is how you get the opportunities. And so now he's like, all right, I'm gonna give it to the expert. But the expert is 24. So when she eggs on Pablo, you don't realize it's like a kid, like when they're lying and they're like, I
Doubling
think
down on the
this will
lie.
get over, and
Yeah.
they're 12, and you're like, I've been 12.
But that's
Okay,
also
this
been
is-
the strategy.
This is easy to see through, and here's why, because I've done this a million times. Pablo and her. Like, oh, you don't think I can go get more information?
Hawk,
Let me show you.
This is why I say it's small time trying to do big time things, because the mentality, the strategy through all of this is kind of like what Instagram influencer, I've got 300,000 followers, would do. But she doesn't understand or refuses to understand that, like, he has something that's bigger. And that's what a lot of what I find younger generations right now, they can't imagine, right? Like, it's the type of people who say, like, something like, oh, Sabrina Carpenter is the biggest star there's ever been. I'm like, dog, you haven't seen Michael Jackson. When I tell you, like, yo, people were fainting. They were fainting at his shows and crying and ripping their clothes off. And like, you don't know what that looks like, because your metric for fame is followers. I got a bunch of likes and follows and all that. And it's like, so that's the kind of thing. She's approaching it from a very, like, Instagram famous thing, which is like, yes, you do leave a comment on the thing, because that's how you gain the clout. Like, ooh, but you don't understand. No, man. We don't leave paper trails around here. We don't wear Jordans from the finish line, like rack or whatever.
I've been searching your Jordans for the last 10 minutes and have not found them.
Can't find them.
The mosquito Valentine ones.
SP1, nothing showed up. I think you're lying.
I'm not lying. Hold on.
All right. Well, no, you keep the show going.
Yeah, well, I wanted someone
You're
else.
in the main chair. We gotta.
All right,
Go for it.
So to all of that, I say, look, man, when they got you, the easiest play for her from the beginning was, this is a gross invasion of our privacy. Like, look, we're private citizens. We're allowed to post on Instagram. We're allowed to, like, any different from you or whatever. This part where you dig into my life, it's kind of uncomfortable.
Yeah.
That's the way you do it, not, that shit ain't true. Because then, of course, you're going to catch you.
We're not talking about this.
But if you're trying to be famous, right, like,
That's
she's
the other
doing all the
problem.
things that she's doing to try and get famous, you leave a review on an Airbnb website when you don't think you're going to be famous 5 years from now. And then all of a sudden, 5 years from now, people are looking back and saying, oh, this is the Airbnb because you said this and this and that.
And the idea of just, like, what's the point of lying? Never mind that, like, okay, you don't want to talk about it because they met when she was 19 and it might be a little weird. But you're going to get exposed if you lie about it, because I'll say, look, I'm just going to say it. I'm sorry, Pablo. He went. There's actually cameras, fan cams at these Gillette Stadium, where if you put in your seat number for a game and a date, you can get a high-res image of you. And so that means that there are cameras everywhere you go, everywhere. And that's sort of what got her busted as being associated with the Patriots from 2021. So it's not even about you.
Next Pablo finds out. Now that you stepped on his episode, I can't imagine what he's going to do to you in his next episode.
But yeah, look, it doesn't even matter so much what you do to expose yourself, like even that review. If you're doing things that are wrong or are inconsistent with the truth, it's going to come out if you're a public figure because of people like Pablo.
Yeah.
They're the MA2s, not SP1s.
Okay, yeah.
That was so different.
So in the know.
Those entirely different numbers,
different
and letter
number,
combinations.
different letters.
Hey, man.
He has no idea who Michael Jordan is.
These are the what? The MA2s?
The MA2s,
The
man.
Maz?
MA2s, man. Y'all ain't up on it so good.
You ain't up on it, and they're up on you. It's ridiculous.
What else we got on this
You're
topic?
pretty good on that strategy of how you, put a scandal under the carpet. I was going to let him just talk. I was starting to like, oh, is he incriminating himself right now? What big name person have you worked with to know that strategy so well?
I'm a big name person. What you talking about?
Oh, okay.
Come on, man. This
Okay,
is all
my
first
bad.
hand.
First
hand experience. You
Hey,
know,
I don't know about you, but there's something that I watched yesterday, a clip, and
Whoa.
was it the conference finals?
You're doing too much watching.
I'm not supposed to be watching anything.
Whoa.
Don't look now.
Oh my gosh.
Damn, that was good.
Don't Look Now, presented by Smirnoff, the world's #1 vodka. Please drink responsibly.
Boys, if you're looking, don't.
Okay.
I got a couple NFL subjects, a couple NFL topics
I'm going to turn around.
for the team.
All right.
Hawk, Lions defensive end Aiden Hutchinson cleared for full return after his broken leg.
Wow.
What do you think about that?
I'm excited about it, man. I was hoping he played in the Super Bowl. There was no way he was going to be able to do it, but it was a motivating rallying cry for his teammates to try to get a little bit of a oomph out of them.
Yo, those look like glasses that actually go with your outfit
This is-
perfectly.
now
Like,
I
if you
look
could
like
see
Jodeci
through
for real.
those, you look like Jodeci in the
Wait,
future, though.
you're looking?
Like
No, of course not.
The
No,
coolest
no.
Star Trek
Yeah, how do
character
you
ever.
see-
right?
I can't
Sorry,
see
sorry,
anything.
I
I
didn't
don't
see
know what's
anything.
looking like what.
I
It's
need
like,
you to be
with my
like-
eyes closed. I'm just envisioning things.
Oh,
I
no
feel
eye
like
time right now
you would
for
look
you.
great.
2025 Star Trek is what you look like.
Trek.
How do you know, Chris?
Like
Trek.
Shrek?
Yeah,
Sorry.
Trek. Yeah.
All right, the tush push lives. Proposal to ban the NFL play fails.
Yeah.
The tush push lives.
You know what? You know what I read, Tony, before I could not look.
Well, you listened to
When I
it.
said
You
look-
listened to it
I
on a
listened
podcast.
There you go. Was that someone said, they play the Packers, I want to say week 10. They need to tush push like the entire first quarter. Just every play.
Rugby scrum the entire way down the field.
I love how Amin thinks just looking in a different direction is like,
not looking.
I'm not looking.
He's not
I'm
looking.
not
But,
looking.
like your eyes are clearly open.
You said don't look. You didn't say
said
don't see.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
Don't look at Stephen A. Smith right now.
All right.
Last one.
Now I want to bring us. I'm grabbing the
Oh.
steering wheel
Oh,
here.
I couldn't see you there. My bad.
I want to do a visual thing here for Don't Look Now.
Wait,
What's
that
that?
doesn't-
Is Will Levis
we can't
picking
see
his
you.
nose in this video of Cam Ward,
can't
working
look.
out?
We can't
How
look
are we
at the
supposed to
video.
know?
Come on, man. There's
All right, Izzy, you look.
there's a whole studio of people.
Cam
And
Ward,
Tony's daughter who can't see the screen.
Cam Ward
not
working
allowed
out,
to see.
and in the
She
background,
looks
Will
anyway.
Levis.
I'm gonna
Look, I'm going to have to
Everyone
go
look.
Tony
I'm looking.
Reale / Jerry Seinfeld and say, not a pick.
Is he
That's-
picking?
I don't
Is
think so.
Will Levis
I gotta
picking
look.
his nose in the
You-
background?
Hold on.
here?
You have Will Levis scratching the outside of his nose.
It could be anything. I
No.
put my finger to my nose all the time. Not for
No.
what you're thinking, but I put my finger in my nose like if I'm thinking or something like
I
that.
know
it's a weird
that
thing.
form better than anybody.
I-
Oh,
he
yeah.
did like straighten
This
out
right
the
here?
finger.
It was coming down. It was it was like not a goaltend.
no,
Or was it goal- it was-
It is
What
a
if he was
goaltend.
doing
It was a
this?
goaltend because it
Like
was
the
on the way down before you saw it.
upward scratch, like at the end.
No, you know why? Because this is how I scratch my nose, like this.
Yep,
You
with
go
your
full
wrist.
force.
Maybe
Maybe
you're
he
not
was
Will Levis.
Maybe he was signaling for someone to take out Cam Ward's knee.
I got 3 of you in there. I need it. Pick or no pick?
Not a pick.
Not a pick for Izzy.
Pick.
No pick.
Wow. To me,
No
this is a
pick.
pick.
Jordy LaForce.
Last one here on Don't Look Now. I hope nobody's looking. Brock Purdy happy about his new deal with the 49ers.
Yeah.
Oh, Burton looking mofo.
I'd be happy to.
Top 10 now, right? Top 10 paid in the position.
ever.
Relevant.
Well, I guess everyone's always ever,
All right,
right?
and now you can look.
All right. One thing I did look at.
Hawk is black.
Yeah.
Yeah. We got a Walter shirt. I want to. Did we find one? I need a shirt. There it is. Hello, my name is Walter. If we can get that sent ASAP, I will wear it at whatever next big event.
You hear that T-shirt?
How about
being
the retreat?
I wear it to the SBJ 40 under 40 retreat, which is going to be very confusing to people if I wear that shirt. But whatever.
Hey, Walter. My name's Andrew.
My name's actually Andrew.
You know who I sort of turned on a little bit the other day was Nick Wright. And this is so he went on this whole rant about SGA and how he is the foul baiter and how specifically the way OKC is allowed to play defense, people who defend SGA are not allowed to play defense because he flails and all of a sudden gets the call.
Is he? That sounds real familiar. Where do you think Nick Wright got that from?
Was it me?
No, it was from Chris. Well, number one, yes, always. It's always stolen off someone. Number two, it was from Chris Finch. We played that on Oddball the other day. Chris Finch back in
I'm
February.
not gonna lie. For a second there, I was like, "Did I say this? It's gonna be awesome."
Well, the annoying part is like the clips that they showed were of SGA driving to the rim and had people contacting him and him then falling, and other people just sort of against a standing Anthony Edwards sort of taking hacks at him. That's a different level of fouls, right? You're going to the rim. Of course, you're going to get more credit for being fouled because you're attempting a shot or at least attempting a drive. If you're just standing there with the ball, you're probably going to get hacked a couple of times, and they'll let you get away with that. But the most important thing about it, I immediately thought back to 2006, and Mike, who's not here, thank you for not being here. I don't want to get into it, but him saying that the 2006 finals were rigged, and I'm pretty sure he's like combining memories because he said there was a ref there that was like clearly on the take, and I'm like, no, it wasn't. It was just Mark Cuban saying a bunch of shit because Dwayne Wade was getting fouled all the time. And I don't like him, and Nick did a great job, as he always does, of sort of telling his story, giving his take, and setting his narrative. If I'm an Oklahoma City Thunder fan and my team wins a championship, get that conversation the hell away from my team, my star. Like, this dude is the MVP of the league, and 10 years from now, new fans are going to be like, oh, he was just a foul baiter, wasn't very good. And I'm just like,
No, they
we
won't.
need to slow down with that shit.
No, they won't, because no one will remember this. No one will remember.
But it's a main conversation. That's what Mike remembers from the 2006 finals of Dwayne Wade, and that's not what really happened. So I do think people are going to remember that, especially if he goes to the finals and gets like 16 free throws a game.
The losing team always has a reason why they lost.
Right.
Like it's all like their fan. Like it always is like, oh, this is why we not because we got beat. There's always a specific conspiracy against the things that happened to them.
You know what I think about when I think about the 2006 NBA Finals? I think about them being up 2-0 and they blew it. That's what I think about
Dallas being up 2-0
Dallas
and
being
blowing
up 2-0 and blew it. I think about Avery Johnson midway through the series deciding they need to stay in Aventura or wherever. They moved
the informed basketball person remembers those things, but the person who might not be informed and they look up SGA and all they're flooded with is foul merchant and these phrases that just came out of nowhere that people just want to attach to these guys. It's just look, do people remember that strictly about Paul Pierce? Because if you go back and look at the footage, it's him no, they think of that 2008 team as one of the greatest teams ever.
Yeah.
Right? And so people didn't talk about that enough with Paul Pierce then. Now it's all people are talking about with SGA. Yeah. See, I'll take that.
I appreciate you bringing it here, though, Izzy, because I made the comparison to Dwayne Wade the other day, where it's like this is a guy who's capable of splitting double teams and driving to the hoop like no one else in the NBA, and his ability to hesitate. Like there was a call last night against Rudy Gobert where Gobert was called for a foul against SGA, and everybody lost their minds. But it was because what SGA was able to do was get into the lane, slow himself down enough to get Gobert to bite for a second. Then he speeds immediately back up and puts the ball low to the ground. So what does Gobert do? He reaches there, and SGA is able to come up.
Show me the
That's
clips
a foul.
where he's not getting fouled. That's what I say about
Correct.
Dwayne Wade. Show me the clips from 2006 finals where he wasn't fouled.
Right.
I'll wait.
And that's the part that I think is frustrating is people are conflating the art of what it is that he's doing with what they think a narrative is supposed to be. I watched the game without Twitter last night, and it was incredible because I got to just watch the game through the perspective of how is this game going and not being worried about what the narratives were online. And when I finished it, I was like, well, this was an evenly refereed game. This is a guy who's getting the line. Anthony Edwards also got to the line. And then I turn around and I go to Twitter, and all of a sudden, the entire narrative that I see on Twitter is just people saying he's a foul merchant. It's so frustrating. I wish people would take a second to just watch these games without worrying about the groupthink that's on social media, because it makes the sport that much better. It allows you to appreciate
Hawk
the
is
art
crying.
that you're watching.
Oh my gosh, bro.
That's so strange.
That is such a great take.
Powering through to this is so difficult.
But
You look like Shannon Sharp.
I am crying because the fact you look exactly like Doug Funny. You look like Doug Funny growing up. It became a media personality, man.
Little
And oh my
mustache, a little
gosh.
more hair.
And the fact they
Yeah.
keep playing that music, it really, damn.
Yeah, man.
Doug, it's good to see you've done well in life, man.
Yeah, this whole show has made me realize that my success that I have had is a fucking miracle.
And you married Patty. Congratulations.
Oh my God.
Tears are
man.
wild, aren't they? You were just really happy, and then all of a sudden, salty water started dripping out of your eyes. What the hell is that?
It's just, but
What's the deal with tears when you're laughing?
I got the.
I can make another comparison here with SGA that is
You all right,
it's
Chris?
sort of like him getting calls all the time. It's sort of like a great starting pitcher in baseball earning the corner.
Mm-hmm.
So if you can consistently hit the corner over and over and over and over again and always be hitting your spot as a pitcher, the further the game goes on, you might get an extra inch or two off the plate called a strike. And it's because you've shown that you're capable of it. If you're SGA and you're capable of drawing legitimate fouls, yeah, there are going to be the occasional moments where you get a foul called on you. Man, the blurred picture of me and Doug at the same time. I'm trying to power through, but this is becoming increasingly difficult.
Jeremy, to your point, there's two things. Number one is the reason why people can't fathom it is because SGA, like Luka Doncic, like James Harden, like a lot like Jalen Brunson, they're all great at something I don't think people are used to thinking about, which is deceleration.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Like everyone always thinks about first step, being fast, being explosive. Their ability to stop while you keep moving and using your momentum against you, it's almost like jujitsu.
It's artful.
That's what people don't understand.
I think like James Harden's probably the first person to really perfect it and just
like deceleration like that. Yeah. The other part of it is what you're talking about, owning the corner. To me, that's the Oklahoma City Thunder defense. Yes, they're physical as hell. Yes, they get away with things. You know who else does? Every other great defense in the history of the NBA.
That's right.
They talk about that constantly. There's never been a great defense. But you know what I like about them? They do it clean. They do it right. Everyone who plays great defense in our league has a benefit of the doubt with the referees and are allowed to be more physical like that. And like Hawk said, you know who complains about it the most? The losers.
Yeah.
The losers are the one who complain about it the most.
I mean, you have a great, working knowledge of NBA history and stuff. Have you ever seen a collection of such good individual defensive players in a collective like the Thunder?
Yeah. I mean, I would say like the 04-05 Pistons, that like era of the Chauncey, everyone defended. That was what made them so terrifying. Was that like Rip was probably their worst defensive player, and he wasn't bad, right? So
he was annoying.
The part that makes them different is that everyone's an offensive threat. Not only are they all great defensively, they're all offensive threats.
Sound like you're talking about the Panthers
Isn't
right now.
that the evolution of the game, though? Because I thought about this the other day with, like, Aaron Nesmith. Like, it used to be, if you wanted that kind of crazy comeback, like, it's got to be all on Tracy McGrady. Hey, Tracy, you're amazingly talented. You go. Now it could be any of these guys because you can't really have a deficiency without it being exposed when you're out there, right? So not only do you have to be a good defender, but you got to be able to shoot because otherwise they're just going to leave you in the corner. It just ruins everything when you have an obvious shortcoming, like even, the Miami Heat where the Cleveland Cavaliers say, oh, just pick on Tyler Hero. It bleeping works because he's not a, two-way player. And so the game just evolves and evolves and evolves, and then you have so many of these guys who don't have any holes in their game, and they're all on the Thunder. And a few are on the Pacers.
This is what I would say. Much like when people say, oh, you know what's in now? Big threes. Well, you know what's out now?
What does that mean?
Because people thought like, oh, because they had a big three, everyone wanted.
Oh, big three. I thought you meant like big three-pointers.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry. So, and then when they say that, I say, no, that's not a thing that's in now. We've always wanted as many great players as we can. It's just, it's really hard to do that.
Right.
Same thing here. Yeah, I don't think this is an evolution so much as, yeah, we always want it, but it's like it's really hard to field an entire roster like that. To your point, that the guy who would do what Nesmith did back in the day, well, if it wasn't Tracy McGrady, it'd be someone like Eddie House. Meaning, like, this guy can catch fire any moment, but also Eddie's not going to be able to lock up the best player.
That's what I mean by the evolution. There's just more of them that you can literally fill an entire roster of players like that and still have more for the other league or for the other teams in the league.
I mean, forgive me because I'm obviously the novice NBA fan, but isn't like the Oklahoma City Thunder roster composition in large part because of the Paul George trade?
That's a million trades, good trades that they made.
Yeah, it's been a while. So
good drafting.
There's a lot of stuff. Yeah, yes. The short answer is yes.
Yeah.
The longer answer is yeah, but it took a lot of steps. So,
but was it like, did they have, because in football, it's like you build a roster. It's either you draft like great or you have a bunch of draft picks, and it's like
and
your ability to. Did they have the increased draft picks or like?
So the way it happened, they traded Paul George for Sabonis and Victor Oladipo. And then Sabonis was then traded for Tyrese Halliburton.
They also got picks from that Russell Westbrook trade.
I was going to say.
So there's a lot of stuff Indiana did over time to get us to where we are here.
Right.
But yes, you could point to Paul George, like them trading Paul George was the start of what got us here. But that was what, 8 years ago?
But they also had the luxury of being like, in the NFL, you're not saying, hey, we'll take these guys, we'll see if they work out, we're going to be terrible for a couple of years, that's fine. They were pretty bad for a little bit and then sort of picked out. They did make good picks because they weren't all like strikeouts and only a few of them worked out. So they make more good picks than they didn't, but it was all about just having the options.
Hold on a minute. Were we just talking about the Paul George trade with Indiana or the Paul George trade with Oklahoma City? Because you brought up Sabonis.
He's asking me how Indiana got here.
I thought he was talking about how the Oklahoma City Thunder got here. Because both teams traded Paul George and it made both of them better.
It was confusing.
Yeah, and Jeremy back here were like, the Sabonis on the Thunder.
I don't remember that.
Sabonis was on the Thunder.
Yeah.
Halliburton.
But yeah, okay, so to go back.
OKC, yeah.
OKC. yes, absolutely, the Paul George thing set it off because Paul George, first of all, gave him SGA. Let's just start there.
Yeah.
That's how they got SGA. But then they got a zillion picks, which, by the way, not done yet. We're still getting picks.
5 first-rounders.
Yep.
Yeah.
And,
okay.
and so it's absolutely helped them
And
tremendously.
they hit on both of them, right? Like great draft picks and more draft picks.
It's crazy that they have
formula.
draft picks that they hit on that aren't there anymore.
Well, they
Like
won the
somewhere
Paul
else.
George trade both by the draft picks and the player.
Right.
Because SGA's
And that's the
MVP.
rare one where it's like we traded for a better player.
They
and
hit on
paid
so
us
many
to do
good
so.
draft picks that they were able to trade Josh Giddey, who's a really good and productive player, for a role player in Alex Caruso because they knew they could just fill out the rest of their roster.
fits even better on their
He fits
team.
even better. That's why they made the move. But that's what I think part of the reason why people are so frustrated with Oklahoma City and SGA and the whole thing is it not only feels like, man, they didn't really have to like suffer through the postseason. They had to suffer
They
as
had
a
to suffer,
franchise
yeah.
because they were horrible for years. But this specific group of players hasn't really had to like suffer in the postseason.
Well, I mean-
and we know that they've got all these future
Yeah,
picks
so-
too, so they're going to be good for all of these years in the future. And I think there's a lot of fans looking at it that might be, whether you're the Knicks, whether you're Minnesota, and you're looking at your team and you're going, man, we got a lot of guys in their prime. They're like, we're only going to be good
Where's
for so
his
long.
theme music?
Where are they going to go?
So
I was gonna say his takes hit a lot harder when there's no Doug theme music playing over top of them.
Yeah.
But they also get a lot less tolerable. I realized I was just trying to cut you off.
Yeah,
It's like,
just shut
stop
up, I get it.
talking.
You don't want to sit in it as long.
But if the music was playing, I would have let you talk forever. I was ready to go. But I think so. For instance, I'll give you exactly what they got for him. Right? They got Danilo Gallinari that they then flipped somewhere else. They got Shea. They got a first-round pick that turned into Trey Mann, who's really good for Charlotte now. They got a first-round pick that turned into Jalen Williams, All-Star. They got a first-round pick that turned into Jaime Jaquez, who's in Miami now. They and a first-round pick that turned into Dylan Jones, who in a couple of years is going to be good. And then they still have the option to flip-flop picks this year. And then they also have a first-round pick next year coming from that trade.
You know, I asked Amin this yesterday on Oddball, Monday through Thursday. Would Oklahoma City Thunder fans rather?
Oh yeah.
Right now, obviously, they're favorites for the next 2 rounds. This is the best position they've been in to win a championship, maybe since 2012. You could argue they were favored going into those finals or not. Or go in a time machine to 2016 and KD never leaves. Because the projection being they're probably going to win a championship or 2 if he stays. Maybe that's a more fun team to watch. You still got Russell and KD, and there's no guarantee you win it this year. Or you're just going to be favored. Do you think Thunder fans would stick with what they have now or go back to then? Because me, as a fan of that basketball, I'd 100% go back to KD.
I think they keep this iteration.
Really? That's what I mean.
I think KD, Westbrook, and Harden was the sacrificial lamb to get them to where they are now.
That's almost exactly what Amin said.
Because you look at what they have going up in the future too, and the players that they already have kind of underneath in the program. It's like why would you go back and keep KD? For what reason?
There was already a lot of tension in 2016, is what I talked about. Like, it's already was starting to feel like, man, I don't know if this is ever going to work because of that collection of
Yeah,
guys.
but those Thunder fans would say, if you give me anything, my choice, let me keep KD. Take everybody else. We'll build around KD. Go ahead, Russell Westbrook. Go ahead, Billy Donovan. I got another 15 years of maybe the most talented scorer ever. That guy's got to win a title.
I also think KD's evolution, personality-wise, over the years versus what we see SGA now, they're like, I think I like this guy better. If you're Oklahoma, just from a personality, like this is a guy who's
Oklahoma fans are still NBA fans. They love drama, man. I think they'd love. They
all
KD.
wear the same shirt. You think they love drama?
I hate that.
They all wear the same damn shirt.
You think they would rather have a Canadian or an American?
In Oklahoma, I think we know the answer.
So there you go.
At least I know I'm free.
I don't know. I think you guys have the
Go ahead and
opinion.
break the show anytime you'd like to, please.